around the world of sport. Top one out menu this evening. Ekiti State Governor apologized to athletes over shabby look at National Youth Games. And coming in from tennis, Nigerian table tennis star signs a new deal in Saudi Arabia. And in football, CAF reviews Rivers United group stage opponent draw in CAF Confederation Cup. This and many more will be yours after this short timeout. Please stay with us.
Greenwoods went for goal. Goalkeeper missed it.
Thank you.
Side man. He does a right hand and down goes Paul straight away. That's where Diop needs to be alive, but the penalty.
Oh, what a point to end it on.
So now this is winner at the best. Yes, winner in 12 years for this. So three.
Still goes to Watson.
Well, he looked to the immortality as an athlete. 19.79. It's a goal. It's 8 goals. Greenwoods went for goal. Goalkeeper missed it.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Steve Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Joining me on today's edition of the show is Kingsley Woke. Good evening to you, Mr. Kingsley, and welcome to Sport Extraordinary.
Good evening, Kings.
All right, let's quickly start the show with the national game that got concluded some days back as the governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, has apologized to the state contingent to the just concluded National Youth Games in Asaba Delta State over their poor appearance during the game's opening ceremony. Speaking to the athletes who won 2 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze medals, the governor commended them for representing the state very well. Yebanji said he received over 1,000 messages when the Kitty scandal in Asaba broke out. And he therefore thanked the commissioner for finance, Akin Oyebodo Yobede, and a special assistant, Mary, also for their quick intervention. The governor also said in line with the extant rules of the civil service, he had instructed the head of service to begin necessary action to sanction anybody involved in the show of shame and to serve as deterrent to others. What do you make of this one? Apology coming from the governor of the state, to the athletes um, due to that, abysmal, let's say abysmal, poor outing at the National Youth Games.
Yes, so many things went wrong for the state, and it started even before the games began. The opening ceremony, the kit, and so many other things was not really what they really wanted. It shows that they didn't really prepare very well for the games. It seems that they were in a hurry to get things done to participate in the youth games in Asaba. It's a good one that the state governor has acknowledged their fault, because anything that happens in his government is part of the blame, because he appointed most of the people that are working for him in government, and all those kind of, not like he appointed them, he's part of, and they are part of. So anything that goes wrong, you must also blame him for that. So he said he received lots of messages, and they were not really good messages.
1,000 messages.
Yes, he said they were not really good messages, and it called for concern. And well, they won medals, but I think maybe he thought that wasn't really enough. They could have done more. They could have won more medals, and it didn't really happen. So I hope they investigate this issue, whether there were people, the money that was sanctioned, whether some people had to siphon it and all that. So he needs to find out what really happened, and why the state had to not do so well at the games.
All right, so let's say it. But we saw some, some surprising performance from some of the athletes from Ekiti State, despite the poor outing. I think in golf we saw one of the athletes coming up very strongly as well as other sports as well. So despite the poor outing when it comes to appearance, the state, of course, were able to strengthen themselves when it comes to performing as well. Let's stay away from that as we take a look at, basketball on the show. As African champions, D Tigers will face Senegal, USA, and Senegal, US at the 2024 FIBA Women's Olympic qualifying tournament. The draws which took place in Hungary yesterday had the Nigerians drawn in Tournament 2, which will be held in Antwerp, Belgium from February 8, 2024. And the Tigers were seeded in Port Street due to their 11th rank position in the world, and would hope to join the United States, who have already qualified as the World Cup winners. What do you make of this draw for the D Tigers? They will face Senegal and the United States in the qualifying games for the Paris 24 Olympics.
Well, it's a big opportunity for them to see what they can do. In fact, it's like luck is already on their side, because in their group, they have the United States, who have already qualified. I don't know whether they will be at their best doing the qualifier. So they have just to do the business. They still have an African opponent to play, Senegal. I think in Africa, the D Tigers have shown that they're very formidable force. They're very good force in terms of basketball. So you just have to find a way to make that work. Try to qualify or do well in that tournament. Is when you do well, you have a slot for the Olympic Games. So you just have to find a way to impress and see how far they will go in the tournament.
Now the draw, which is for 4 women's basketball tournaments, will be contested by 16 national teams, where the top teams earn a place in the 2024 Summer Olympics basketball tournament. There are 10 Olympic tickets available since France are already assured of their sports as the Olympic hosts and US as the last FIBA Women's World Champions in 2022. Both have a guaranteed spot in the Paris, but will take part in the qualifying tournaments. Now, determined by the FIBA Central Board decision, September 9th, the FIBA Women's Olympic qualifying tournament will be held from February 8th to 11, 2024 in 4 cities, namely Antwerp, Belgium, Belém, Brazil, and Sopron, Hungary, and a city to be confirmed in China. I look forward to see how this one, of course, will pan out for Nigeria. The Tigers, they've actually shown a very huge, progress over time. They won the concluded Afro Basketball Championship with the new coach of the side, Rena Wakama. Talking about the new coach, Rena Wakama, how far do you see, her taking the D Tigers?
I think she has kind of maybe giving them confidence. I think she's somebody that has been there before, so she really understands the game of basketball. And tutoring the D Tigers now is, for me, a very big call because it's a very big job, a very taxing one, because in Africa, in terms of women basketball, I think we're in the top 3. We're in the top 3, and a lot of work is to be done, and she just have to take the ladies to another level. At least qualifying for the Olympics is a big step for her. At least it will boost her CV and other things. So just have to do it. The girls are ready. You just have to psych them because they're already professionals, so they know what to do. You just have to make sure they do well during the tournament.
All right, so let's stay away from basketball as we move down to tennis on the show. As African tennis champion Aruna Quadri has made a bigger money move to join Saudi Arabia side, Khalij Table Tennis Club. The tennis icon will now be playing in Saudi Arabia for Khalij Table Tennis Club. In the past, the African champion had played in Portugal, Germany, and Russia League, respectively. But Saudi Arabia came calling, and without thinking much, the man, of course, joined the oil-rich country table tennis club. And let's see how this one, of course, will go for the man. But last month, Quadri successfully retained his title in the men's single for the 2023 ITTF African Championship after beating Ahmed Saleh of Egypt in the final match in Tunisia. Wookie, what do you make of for this particular encounter? Let's say encounter. Yes, it's an encounter for Aruna Quadri. Let's see how far, of course, he'll be able to go down there in Saudi Arabia. The man naturally, of course, didn't think twice in taking that decision to join the club in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, it seems like all the money is in Tunisia, is in Saudi Arabia. We see what they are doing in football and also in tennis. And for me, I think Aruna Quadri has really done very, very well. I think in terms of representing both the country and also the clubs or the countries where he has played table tennis. I think he's one of our shining lights, and he's not really that young again. In fact, maybe by now, some people would think that maybe he will retire from
35 years of age?
Yes, at least when you're 35, it means that you're no longer young and all that. So I think, I don't know whether this joining the Saudi Arabian club is maybe one of his retirement plans. And for me, he's still very active, still playing, still beating the big guys in table tennis. And for me, I don't see him slowing down at the moment. Maybe he still have like maybe 3 or 4 years to still be active in table tennis. For me, one of our best currently in table tennis, and I wish him luck. I hope he makes all the money and also tries to make more progress, records, and all that. So, good one for him.
All right, good one for Aruna Quadri in Saudi Arabia. The 35 years old Nigerian is the first African player to be ranked top 10 in the world. And we'll see how this one goes. And you just talked about, his age, 35 years of age. Do you think, this is our best table tennis player when it has to do with table tennis, in Nigeria? Do you think with Nigeria will probably discovered, or that will discover the next Aruna Quadri? Do you think, after Aruna Quadri retires, that we'll see someone, of course, dominating table tennis just like he has done so far?
Yeah, we have lots of them. Just that they have not really taken that initiative to outshine Aruna Quadri, because if they bring their A game, I think not many people will really remember Aruna Quadri, but we have not really seen them do so much. So that means that Aruna Quadri will still be the names of in the list of so many people in the country, even outside. So we have lots of them, table tennis players, but they have not really done
Even the current table tennis players, playing alongside Aruna Quadri, we've not seen them show much progress like Aruna.
Exactly.
So what do we need to do, to have the next, Aruna Quadri? If you take a look at countries like Egypt, these are table tennis, countries that, over time we've seen them come up with table tennis stars. You take a look at China, Japan, and the rest of them. These are countries that churn out table tennis stars, almost every year. But here in Nigeria, Aruna has been, on the limelight for a very long time. We've not seen anybody, of course, coming up to put up this same gesture we've seen from him over the years. So I don't know what you make of the future of table tennis in Nigeria after Aruna Quadri.
Well, if I say we are not bringing our talents, I might be lying. A lot of talent, there are talents. It's just how to bring them together, maybe establish programs where they can develop themselves. And also one thing about, if you're playing tournaments, if you're going for tournaments, you tend to meet people that are higher than you. You learn one or two things. And also, you have to motivate yourself. I think in this country, people that have gone far in their various sports are people that decided to motivate themselves. People that have decided to, even when the resources are not there, try to use the limited ones that are available. Check Aruna Quadri, even though things are not really maybe rosy, maybe sometimes no funds, he has been able to motivate himself, sometimes go for tournaments and try to develop himself. That's what you need to do. You need to have that self-awareness, like I want to motivate myself, I want to go higher in this career. You don't just have to wait for anybody, for anything to happen. So I think if they can be able to motivate themselves, maybe, it's not always easy when the funds are not there. Things you want to do, you are limited to so many other things. So if the upcoming ones can have that funds, maybe self-made fund, or even the ones that can be provided for them through sponsorship and all those things, I think when you want to strive higher, you can do that by yourself. Try to motivate yourself. I think that is what Aruna Quadri has done down the years. He has tried to carry himself, even though when nobody wants to carry him, he has decided to carry himself. So I think other people should learn from that also. That's how you develop yourself, because there are so many table tennis. Even locally here, we see people playing, but nobody to really take them to that level. So it's not like the talents are not there. It's a sport that once the table, I know to have all the equipment for the game is not always very easy. It's not easily accessible and all that, but we see people playing it, even trying to do the local way of playing table tennis. So the talents are there across the country. You just have to discover them and also try to give them programs, give them scholarship, maybe travel abroad where they can get those facilities, because in abroad, you get to see those facilities in a more bigger way, you understand? You tend to see it almost everywhere, so you can develop your talents from there. In Nigeria here, we are limited to so many things in this country. So maybe that's what the question of go higher like that. So many talents are there. You just have to gather them and then give them those facilities that will make them survive.
All right, so at this point, I will take a short break, and we'll come back from this break with dash straight into the beautiful world of football. Here it is.
With the goal. Goalkeeper missed it.
Like him.
Side man, he does a right hand and down goes
Variety Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kingsley Mana, and of course, um, bringing you the latest revolving round the world of sports this evening. Let's talk football on the show as the board of the Nigerian Men Football League has announced that the 2023 and 2024 season will kick off on October 15th. The league body made this announcement yesterday following the successful draw which was conducted at the 2023 annual General Assembly in Lagos. The draw featured Natural Amazons, Heartland Queens, Confluence Queens, Adamawa Queens, Danas Ladies, Niger Ratus, Royal Queens, and Abia Angels in Group A. While Group B has Lakeside Queens, Rivers Angels, Sunshine Queens, Robo Queens, Edo Queens, Bayelsa Queens, Ekiti Queens, and Delta Queens as well. What do you make of the group for the Nigerian Men Football League that will be coming out soon, Wookie?
Well, yeah, not normal teams we have seen down the years, and for me, good one. We had it to be starting by November, and we hope there will be no.
We're already in November, just a few days to the
Yes, yeah.
commencement.
Okay, yes. So we need at least an improvement this year. I think Delta Queens, they won the Super, was it Super 6 or Super? And they represented Nigeria at the qualifiers for the CAF Champions League, but they were not really that familiar one. They didn't really qualify, but they lost in the waffle qualifier. So for me, I hope by the end of the season, maybe the likes of Bayelsa Queens, maybe Rivers Angels. Rivers Angels in last year they didn't really do so well in the league. They had to manage to qualify for the playoffs, and a lot of things are not really right with that team. I hope the board and people in charge of Rivers Angels try to make something happen this time around. They need to dominate and see whether they can win the league like they did 3 years ago. So for me, I'm looking forward to the league starting. I'm looking forward to see the likes of Edo Queens, Delta Queens, Bayelsa Queens. I think teams from the south, they have been dominating for a very long time, and teams are always doing well anytime the league is on. I think also this year, this season, I hope, I also know that they will dominate. The rest of Bayelsa Queens would like to dominate. Delta Queens, Edo, even Rivers Angels will also try to dominate. So it's good the league is starting.
Good one. The league, of course, will be starting on the 15th of October, which is this month. And we look forward to see what comes up, of course, for the various teams in their groups, as well. But let's talk about, the format of the league. We're obviously in the league, using the abridged league format, for a very long time. Do you think, the abridged league is really very, very perfect for the Nigerian Men Football League?
Well, I think this is what they can do at the moment. One thing about the women's league is, in terms of funding, they don't really get the type of funding that the men get in terms of revenue, because even corporate bodies fear that the return of investment is not really that much. Revenue generated is not really that much. So they don't really have so much funding for the women's league. And due to the finance of some of the teams, it's better you group them in a way where they can be able to assess those games. We have seen in the past teams boycotting games because of transport. They can't even take the girls to the venues where these games will take place. We know there are some teams in the North Central, even in the North. So it's only very difficult when the funds are not there. Some of all these teams, they don't even have they don't have buses. They don't have buses. We see them going for games. They have to charter buses to go for games, and it's not really that good. So you have to make the proximity very, very close for them, so that even if the funds are not there, at least the little that they have can be used to prosecute those games. So that's why they decided to make it abridged and all that. So for me, I think even in years to come, it will still continue till maybe money comes into the league. When you have money, you have options to do so many things. So when money comes, and when these clubs start generating their own funds, maybe hey, they can have the luxury of taking these games or even traveling, even by air. So for now, they don't really have all that. So they just have to do with.
So you're
what they
saying
want.
paucity of fund is the reason why
Yes,
the
part of
body
it.
is actually
Yeah, part
going
of
with
it.
the agreed league format?
Yes, if you look at how the groups are being grouped, how the teams are being grouped, you understand what I'm talking about. How the teams are being grouped. So they group them according to how they can be able to assess other teams. And for me, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the format for now because of there's no money. There's no money.
And talking about the way the league has been run, you just mentioned Delta Queens not doing well in the CAF Champions League qualifiers. We saw them, of course. I think they go to the I think finals of the qualifiers. They were actually being knocked down, knocked out, in that particular one. So far, so good. I think we'll see Rivers Angels in the continent, but they didn't really do much. I think one other team as well was it. I try to recall their name now. And now we saw, last time we saw Delta Queens as well. I think after putting up a very impressive performance in the Super 6,
Yeah.
and they were actually being given that edge, to stage his fight in that qualifiers of the CAF Champions League, but they fell short. Do you think, so far so good? I think we've seen about 3 editions of the CAF Champions
Yes,
League now,
yes.
and we've not seen Nigerian teams, of course, getting probably, to the finals of this particular championship. Do you think we've not done well over time when it comes to, women football in the country?
Yes, we have not done much. We have done something, but we have not really done much. In terms of talents, we are top notch in terms of talents. But when it comes to club football, we are nowhere to be found. You understand? You see a team in women football in Africa, we are dominating. In fact, our team, we saw their performance at the last World Cup. But when it comes to club football in the country, we are not there. And it showed during those CAF competitions. We saw teams, even from North Africa, we saw teams from South Africa dominating us.
Is that the reason why the coach of the Super Falcons, of course, feel very, very reluctant in terms of taking a player from the home teams?
Yes, he's not convinced. In fact, he said even before the World Cup, there were players that were recommended to him, but due to the fact that he said that he didn't really have access to these players, they couldn't train, they couldn't go for tours to really see what they can do, what they can offer to the team. So he decided not to pick them. It became a problem. If not that the girls did well at the World Cup, if they had crashed out, maybe in the group stage or that, maybe the matter would have maybe come up again and all that. So we didn't really hear any more team from there because the Super Falcons did well during the tournament. So we have seen the coaches not have confidence on these girls because they don't really see them. They don't really see them that much. So for me, they need to do more for the league. I think more sponsors. In fact, people that will just come, let's invest. Let's just help women football in the country. Not about what they will gain. I know a businessman will always like to have gains, like to have profit. But sometimes there is one maybe say, let's help the league. Let's put money in the league. Let's see what it will be in the next 2 or 3 years. Somebody can come out and do that just to support, not hoping to gain anything. I know businessmen will not reason the way I'm thinking. So we just have to find a way to make the league popular. I don't know whether the people in charge of the league, whether they have been doing so much. I know they have been doing. The marketing side have been trying to maybe get sponsorship and so many other things for the league. But we see that nobody's interested, even in watching the women's league. Nobody's interested. So let's see how it goes in future. I hope the future will be better. But the way I'm seeing it, I don't think it will be better. We've seen the league not doing well. Even in the continent, we are not doing well, even though we don't have so many women's team in the continent. But the ones that are there, we see them even dominating us when we meet.
All right, let's see how far, of course, the Nigerian Football League will go down this time around, and we hope, of course, we see a bit of improvement this time around. Don't forget, we have a new chairperson in the Nigerian Football League now. I think the person of Nkechi. We hope she will be able to take, the league, to another level this time around. Let's stay away from the Nigerian Football League as we take a look at the Nigerian Premier Football League. Doma United, of course, a big nation against Bayelsa United this weekend, and Bayelsa United will be playing away from home in that particular encounter. Awoki, what do you make of Bayelsa United? They trash Aqua United. Well, I say they trash, but it was really an intense encounter. 5 goals to 3. It ended the match they won against Aqua United, and they'll be looking on against Doma United playing away in this particular encounter. What do you make of this one? You think Doma will be able to stage that huge dominance at home?
I don't know. But it's going to be a very tough game. Doma United, we started hearing their name last season, and they're still in the league, and we hope they do well this season also. For Bayelsa United, I think they started the season very, very well at home. They won, I would say convincingly, they won the high score line, and this week, and they'll be hoping to consolidate, see whether they can be able to pick even a point. We know how it is, away matches in the league. The home sides are always favorites to win. Like, the home side are always wanting to dominate and all that. So let's see how it goes for Bayelsa United. See whether they can be able to get a point. But Doma United, that will be their first home game this season, so they would like to start on a very good note.
Kano Pillars, of course, will be national against Katsina United. This will be an interesting one to watch as well. Don't forget, Kano Pillars just came back from relegation, okay. And of course, they'll be national against Katsina United. I think both teams, coming from the north. How do you see this one coming up? The northern fans are always very happy, in a feature like this. How do you see this one coming? I hear there will be a ticket fee, in this particular one. I think the VIP will be 1,000. I think regular should be 200 for that particular encounter. What are your expectations in this Northern Derby?
A good one that Kano Pillars are back to the league. They were relegated last 2 seasons, and they had to play in the NNL last season. So it's good they are back. Even though had they left, they had so many controversies and so many other things. So it's good they are back, and they are playing against their rival. We have seen, I don't know whether it's Katsina United or Katsina United. We have seen issues happen anytime these two teams are playing. So I think security should be beefed up, and also because I know it will be a massive crowd.
True.
This weekend in Kano. Even when they were around in the league, we used to see their stadium very filled, very jam-packed, a very intimidating ground when Kano Pillars are playing. So let's see how it goes for them. Whether they will start the league very, very well, whether they would like to be up there, maybe finish in the top 4 this season. So good when they are back, and let's see how they go from here.
Let's see how, of course, this one will pan out. Talking about the encounter between Kano Pillars and Katsina United. Bender Insurance, of course, will be national against Shooting Stars, and we'll see Plateau United against Heartland FC. Dobie Stars, they'll be national against Sunshine Stars, as we see Niger Tornadoes against Rivers United. Rivers United are back now in the league. They're playing away from home this weekend against Niger Tornadoes. Where do you see the pendulum swinging to?
Well, Rivers United, they will be very delighted to make it to the group stage of the CAF Confederations Cup. The draws were done today, and they know their opponents. And I mean, this will be their first game of the season, and it will be away to Niger Tornadoes. So I hope they're able to get something valuable. At least a point will be okay for a start. But they can still go there and take all 3 points. We have seen Rivers United in seasons now go away from home and do so well. Sometimes pick the maximum points away. And even if they are losing, they don't lose with high score lines. And for me this weekend, I'll be waiting for them to get something from Mina from Niger Tornadoes. So let's see how it goes for Rivers United.
Rivers United, of course, will be national. They'll play away from home against Niger Tornadoes, and we'll see Sporting Lagos going down to Yo to execute the encounter against Aqua United. Okay, I don't think Aqua United will take this game lightly because they lost their first game to Bayelsa United by 5 goals to 3. Sporting Lagos, they've showed much progress, They won their first game against Gombe United. The UC Aqua United stopping this dominance from Sporting Lagos.
Yeah, Sporting Lagos, the team from Lagos. The last time we really saw a team from Lagos, was it MFM? MFM, yes. They used to play at Agege and all that. So since then, they have been waiting for another Lagos team, and for me, it's good. They They are back. I don't know they are back. They are in the MPFL, and they started very well last week. They won their game, and this week they're playing an away game, and I don't know how it's going to be for them. They just have to know that the league is not the NNL. The MPFL is not the NNL, and
they actually say they are coming to win the league.
okay, they want to be like Bendel Insurance that came back last season and almost they made it to the Super Six, but they were not able to win the Super Six. So let's see how it goes for them. I think they're a very well-run club. I've seen their adverts and so many other things. So it seems like a team that knows what they are doing. So let's see whether they can be able to comport themselves, coordinate themselves, and I hope they also have quality players because you need quality players to survive in this league. So
I think they have some quality players down there. We hear Junior Locosa.
okay,
Of course, is one player down there, for them with other, quality players, you can mention. Just like we saw with the game against Gombe United, we saw them playing the tiki-taka football.
okay.
So I think they are very, very formidable this time. Maybe we'll see that, coming to reality, talking about the fact that they want to win the league. But let's see, too early to call for them because they are just coming, into the Nigerian Premier Football League. The club was actually being put together 2 years ago, and now they've gotten qualification to the MPFL. So that's to say they really, really mean business. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see what happened this weekend, against Aqua United. Aqua United will be in action against Abia Warriors to see Gombe United against Enyimba Football Club. Enyimba won the league last season. Okay, how far do you see them go this season?
They didn't do well in the CAF Champions League. They were eliminated in the CAF Champions League. Sad one for them, but they just have to find a way to come back there next season. And their first game will be against Gombe United. And they just have to find a way to at least get something from that game. I think their coach, Finidi George, I've seen a lot of preparation. They've been preparing for these games. And they have one or two players. They've sent so many new players, young and old and experienced. And let's see how it goes for them. See if they can be able to retain the title they won last season. One thing about this season is it's not average. It's going to be a full league, so you have to play the 38 matches. So knowing those matches is going to be very, very tense, and you need to be good at home, get the points away if you want to even be on top of the table.
Remo Stars, of course, will be national against Enugu Rangers, and that promises to be another interesting encounter to watch out for. Yes, I actually told you that the game between Kano Pillars and Katsina United, VIP, of course, will be paying 1,000 naira to watch that game, and for regular, we'll see them pay 200 naira. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch out for. I think the fans are really getting ready for this particular one. Well, let's move on as we talk about the CAF Confederation Cup draws we saw this afternoon. Now, in Group A, we have USMA, the team from Algeria, and Future FC from Egypt, Super Sports United, and we have Ahali of Benghazi from Libya. For Group B, we have Zamalek of Egypt, Sangranda Esperanca of Angola, and Academy So and Abu Salim of Libya. In Group C, that's the group where we have Rivers United of Nigeria, Club African of Tunisia, Dream FC of Ghana, APC Sekune United. What do you make of the group, especially for Rivers United? Do you see Rivers United getting out of this one at the end of the day? Okay.
They're in Group C, and I think the biggest side there is Club African of Tunisia. I think they're a very formidable side from North Africa. And we see what North African teams have really done in this tournament. They tend to dominate the tournament almost every year. So we'll be hoping that maybe a side that is from maybe other part of Africa come up and maybe take the place of the North African teams because they tend to dominate. And for me, it's looking like East their competition, both the CAF Champions League and also the CAF Confederations Cup. We also have a team from Ghana, Dreams FC of Ghana. We don't really know so much, and also a team from Angola. Angolan teams, the Portuguese-speaking country, they still have good teams coming up. Then we used to hear Petro Atletico of Angola, and also some other players, some other teams we used to hear from Angola. But this team looks like a new team on the block. So let's see how it goes for Rivers United. They just have to be formidable at home. If it's possible, win your home games, the 3 home games, even against the institution side. I know it's going to be very, very difficult to defeat them. Or even and a draw, so they'll be home.
Last time we saw them at the quarterfinals of the competition. We hope they were able to surpass that record set last time. Let's move on as we bring you the draws for the CAF Champions League. In Group A, we have Mamelodi Sundown from South Africa, FC Pyramid of Egypt, and we have TP Mesempe of DR Congo, FC Nouadhibou of Mauritania. And for Group B, we have Wydad AC of Morocco, Simba FC of Tanzania, and Sek Mimosa from Cote d'Ivoire, Joaneg Galaxy of Botswana. And for Group C, we have Esperance of Tunisia, Petro de Luanda of Angola, and Ahila of Sudan. ES Sahel of Tunisia as well in that particular group. And for Group D, we have Ahali of Egypt, CRO Belouizdad of Algeria, Young Africans of Tanzania, Medema SC of Ghana in that particular group. Let's stay away from the African scene as we take a trip now to Europe as we bring the fixtures in the English Premier League this weekend. Of course, tomorrow we'll see Luton Town against Tottenham Hotspur. Burnley will be in action against Chelsea tomorrow. Bournemouth against Everton will be in action against Bournemouth. Fulham against Sheffield United. And Manchester United, they will, of course, be looking on against Brentford at Old Trafford. First of all, let's start with the game between Burnley and Chelsea. This should be a must-win for Chelsea Football Club, okay?
Yes, for Chelsea, they defeated Fulham. That was on Monday. They defeated Fulham by 2-0. I think that win has given them confidence. And let's see how it goes for them. Whether they can be able to consolidate on that victory. This is their second win of the season. They defeated Luton, then Fulham, and now they're going to play Burnley that came from the championship. They have not really started the league very well. Vincent Company boys people are saying the championship and the league, the Premier League is a whole different kind of a ball game because the quality in the championship and the quality in the league are two different things. I think they have struggled coming back, even though they dominated the championship last season. They have struggled this season so far. So you expect Chelsea to win this one. You expect Chelsea to dominate them. You expect Chelsea to take out 3 points. But we have seen Chelsea this season have not really been very, very good. We see them, when you expect them to win, they tend to lose. So I think Burnley is an opponent they can beat on their day. They can beat Burnley on their day. So it's going to be also a very difficult game for them. So let's see how it goes for Chelsea. They just have to win. A lot of money has been spent on that team. Quality players they were bought. Even players, okay, they said the quality, they'll be good in future.
I feel it will be an intense game because Burnley will be coming into this encounter with the mindset of getting 3 points. They've not won any game since they came to the Premier League from the Championship. So it will be an intense game for Chelsea. But if they actually put up a little bit of brilliance, they can get over Burnley, in this one. But let's take a look at the encounter between Manchester United and Brentford as well. Manchester United, they've been heavily criticized, the players and the manager as well, courtesy of the abysmal display we've seen in few matches, as it stands now for them. Brentford, everyone expects them, of course, to get the 3 points, from Brentford in this particular encounter. But do you see United, of course, doing the needful this weekend?
I think their last 2 games, they have lost their last 2 games. They lost to Crystal Palace in the league. Also in the Champions League, they lost to Galatasaray. And for me, it's not looking good for Eric Ten Hag. I think he's under pressure at the moment. And the team is under pressure. If they're not doing it in the Champions League, in the league, they're also not really there in the league so far. So against Brentford, they'll be home. We expect them to at least win before the international break. I don't know how it's going to be for them. Brentford has shown that they are party spoilers. They can spoil your plans on a very good day. So Manchester United need to find a way to win this weekend. The coach need to find a way to address his dressing room because we have seen issues coming out from the dressing room. We have had issues Sancho having issues with the coach. Anthony was having I don't know how to call it one issues or the other, but he's back. We saw him at that game against Galatasaray in the Champions League. So you just have to find a way to put that team together. Some players are underperforming, and the coach needs to address that issue. He needs to talk to the players. The likes of Marcus Rashford has not really been doing very, very well. Even Bruno Fernandes, who we know to carry the team, even when the team is not doing well, is also not at that highest level. So you just have to find a way to put that team together. They need to win this weekend, because any team not winning this weekend, it will maybe crisis might come back to the club. So the coach will not want that. The coach would like them to win so that they can go to the international break on a winning road.
All right, another interesting encounter we're looking forward to is the game between Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, they will be in action this weekend against Nottingham Forest, as we'll see Brighton and Hove Albion against Liverpool, and West Ham United against Newcastle United. Wolverhampton Wanderers will be in action against Aston Villa, and Arsenal against Manchester City. Okay, this will be an interesting one this weekend. Arsenal injury worries, for them. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, injury concerns, for Arsenal at this time. We don't know if these players will go to future. Don't forget the man who actually helped them at the defense during Timber in the Community Shield to win Manchester City. Has been out of the he's been out of play for some time. And so I don't know what you make of the injury worries, for Arsenal ahead of this encounter against City.
Yes, the coach had a press conference today, and he was not really very certain of certain players, the likes of Martinelli and also Bukayo Saka. He said that Bukayo Saka is in contention to play, but not really 100% fit to play. So it will be like a very bad thing for Arsenal, because Bukayo Saka is a player that I don't know what Arsenal can do without him. I think he's been like one of the shining lights for Arsenal. If he's on the pitch, he tends to do so much for Arsenal. Even if he's not playing very, very well, he has a way of scoring a goal or even giving an assist in any game for Arsenal. So he's a very key part of how Arsenal play. And if he doesn't play this weekend, I don't know how it's going to be for the Arsenal team. For Man City also, they also have injury crisis. And also we heard that it's not even be here. Rodri will be suspended for this game because of the red card he got. And this will be the last of the third match ban that he got. So Rodri missing will also be a very big blow for Manchester City. He's been like their midfield engine. He detests play. He controls things for them. And if it's not there, I don't know how they're going to cope without him. But Man City have shown since 2015 that they can dominate Arsenal. They have not lost any Premier League game against Arsenal since 2015. Since after 2015. So they have a very big, good record. In fact, they have been dominating Arsenal since then. So even when since Pep Guardiola came, Arsenal have not defeated him in the league. So for me, it's a very big task for Arsenal. It's a very big task for Mikel Arteta this week.
Big task for both sides, and we'll see who gets this one at the end of the day. Let's bring you some of the fixtures in the Italian Serie A, as Empoli will be in action against Udinese, Leeds against Sassuolo, we'll see Inter Milan against Bologna, and Juventus against Torino, and Genoa will be in action against AC Milan, and of course we'll see Monza against Salernitana, and Frosinone against Verona, and Lazio will be in action against Atalanta, as Cagliari will be in action against AS Roma.